Hello and welcome back to Cooking the Haydens, and I'm Car Boot Chris, and today we are going to do a bit of a reseller social experiment. So we're going to go to do 2 charity shop runs, one in Alderley Edge in Cheshire, which is renowned for being in the top 10 most affluent areas of the UK. And the other area we're going to go to is Oldham in Greater Manchester, and that's widely thought of as being the most deprived area in the UK. And I don't mean any offence to anyone in Oldham, but just doing my research, that's all. So we're going to see what we can pick up in both areas. We're going to compare prices and see what kind of value we manage to get for reselling. First up is Alderley Edge. Now, I've read some articles that say it's the 3rd most affluent area in the UK. Some say it goes right up to 8th. So whatever we're looking at, it's in the top 10, which means there's a lot of rich people there, particularly footballers' wives, TV stars, Coronation Street people. The population's only about 5,000, but I believe that there's roughly 40 multi-millionaires living in that small town. So we'll see what they've been handing in at the local charity shops and if it's any use to us. So we're going to go and see what treasures there are to be found in Alderley Edge and how much we're going to get ripped off. So 2 shops down, I've got a posh bag of stuff, which isn't bad at all. They did have one jacket in there that was 45 quid, and I couldn't see a brand on it at all, but obviously I didn't pick it up, so not that brave. Okay, so just come out of Age UK, and it's like a vintage type shop, and I spent a small fortune on stuff. So that's Bargain Bell pissing about in the background there. So we're done here in Alderley Edge. There's only 5 charity shops, but I think we've got some decent stuff, and I managed to get some footage inside some of the charity shops as well. So we're going to Oldham now, and we'll see what's in store there. So we've arrived in Oldham and we're going to go and have a trudge around the charity shops. Hopefully we'll find some good stuff in a bit. Well, we've done 2 charity shops so far in Oldham and found absolutely bugger all apart from one item, so it's not looking good at the moment. So we're done at Oldham, and this is all the stuff we picked up from the 2 charity shop runs. So we'll head back home and we'll show you what we picked up. Hello, and we are back, and it was certainly an interesting day. Some things I expected, some things I didn't. So we'll start with Alderley Edge, which is the playground of the rich and famous in Cheshire. And we'll start off with this item that I picked up, which is Radio City Hall in New York. It's a special programme for the grand reopening gala. I've got very, very little information on this. I can't find much on it at all online. It cost me $2.99, so it weren't too bad. And at the moment, I'm guessing that I'm putting this up for £20. So the next item we got was this Rummikub board game. It's brand new and sealed. It's the classic original version. It costs $6.99, which is quite a lot really. So we had to do some checking on the eBay app while we were in the shop. And we actually found it's going for around about £20. So that's what we're going to ask for that. This Corpse Bride book, all about the film. An Invitation to the Wedding. This costs $1.99 and I'm going to shoot for about £12. Prices are a bit all over, but I'm going to go for £12 on that. So as you can see, I picked up this very stylish skiing hat. Just sort the air out. It's Cask Free Ride World Tour, and it cost me £4. There's not a lot to go on online. But what I can see, I'm going to shoot for £20 on that. I also picked up this lovely Calvin Klein Golf Polo. It was $4.99, which I didn't think was bad at all for Calvin Klein. I'm making the assumption that it's genuine. It's got all the right indications on it, but it was $4.99. I'm going to look for £20 on eBay. Now, I always say pick up something a little bit different every time you go out thrifting, and I very, very rarely pick up CDs. But this one caught my eye as I was browsing through some CDs. It's a Wes Montgomery Straight No Chaser, and it was $1.99. Now, the box is broken, but I'm going to just swap that with one of my boxes from one of my CDs. But it's kind of unusual because it's black. It's got a black back on it. And I did a quick check on eBay and there was one listed with no photograph, so I don't know 100% it was the same one, for £20. So that convinced me to sort of pick it up. So based on that alone, I'm going to say that I'm going to ask £20. Now, I picked up this, and I really like this Suzuki. It's an official Suzuki, the car manufacturer, hoodie, full speed, and one is sold on eBay for £37 plus £12 international postage. So this cost me £8.50, and I'm going to actually put it up for 40 quid. So a nice healthy profit on that one. I also sourced this Disney Mad Pete's Speed Shop t-shirt. It's Walt Disney World, which is always good. And it costs £6. Now, I wouldn't normally pay that much, but I can't find them anywhere at all on eBay. There's no one selling or sold of this. So with that in mind, I'm going to look for £20 on that. We also got this West Wing complete DVD box set, and it's a very, very nice box set. All the series on there, plus some extras and a booklet in a lovely collector's box. And it was £6.99. A bit of research, and I'm going to put it up for 25 with best offers on. I always put best offer on everything anyway. Maybe get 20, but it's going to go up for 25. I also got these 2 Ed Hardy notebooks. And you might think these things are not worth anything, and you might be right. But I had a quick look on eBay, and the Ed Hardy notebooks are selling. And there's a few listed as well, not 100% the same as those. It cost me £3 for the 2. I'm going to go for about £12 on these for the pair. We also found this Little Nightmares graphic novel. Bit unusual, I've not seen one of these before. I don't know how common they are, but they are selling. They're selling quite regular on eBay for around £10, so there's no reason why I shouldn't ask £10 for that. It cost me £2.50. Now, I don't normally pick these up. They're Star Wars books, and they're probably 10 a penny, to be honest with you. But this was early in the charity shop run, and I don't know if I was thinking I weren't going to get much or whatever, but I decided to pick up the whole lot. And altogether, these 11 books cost me £8.50, which weren't too bad, so it's just under £1 each on average. I'm debating what to sell them for, whether to do individual. I don't think it's worth it individual because they're only £3 or £4 each mostly. But I'll have to check each one in case there's one that's worth more than the rest. But I'm planning on doing the whole lot together for about 30 quid. It might be unrealistic, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go for 30 and see what happens. Now, you saw in the video that we picked up this Laughing Cow clock in one of the shops. And turns out it's actually worth a bit of money. What did we pay for it? $1.99 we paid. And one sold on eBay that was boxed and sealed for £15. But there's no others listed that we could see. So I'm going to list it at 20 and see where it takes me. Now, the last item I picked up was the most expensive thing that I bought from Alderley Edge. And I liked it as soon as I saw it, but I was almost put off by the price tag, which is where your research must come in. And it is this Houston, I think it's Houston Astros. Yeah, Houston Astros Mitchell and Ness jacket. And it is really, really nice. I mean, obviously not my kind of thing. I don't really wear orange very well. But it is in proper good condition. There's a Manc phrase for you. Proper good, man. It's proper good. And I had to do some checking on this. There was no way I was going to pay out 40 quid. But it turns out they're selling all over the show for 80, 90, 100, 110 pound. So I picked it up. I decided to have a gamble. It's a really, really nice item, and it's always nice to have good items in your shop. So it's a double XL, which sometimes can be good as well because the big sizes are not always readily available. So I paid 40. I'm going to list it for 100 and hope for a nice bit of profit on that. So that was it for Alderley Edge. So I didn't do bad at all considering what kind of area it was, although I spent a lot of money, and we'll do the numbers at the end. So on to Oldham, and we'll see what we picked up there. So we'll start off, and you saw it in the video, this Disney Monsters Inc. sack. It's almost like one of the Disney Christmas sacks that you can get, like the Santa sacks. Obviously it's a different kind of theme. I can't find any like this listed. It cost me £2. And based on not being able to find anything at all, I'm going to go for £20 on eBay. So this one I thought was quite nice. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs NHL hoodie top. It's absolutely immaculate. I don't even think this is being worn. It costs £6.99. And based on what they're going on eBay, I'm going to look for 30 quid on that. So I'm back to the good old plushes that I'm used to. I knew we could rely on Oldham to get some good, decent plushes. So this Miss Piggy, it's an official Disney store with the usual stamp on it. It has got a bit of a mark on the leg, which I'm hopeful I'm going to get that out with some of that Vanish spray. But it was £2.99. I'm going to go for £12 on it. I've sold these before, so I'm reasonably confident we'll get £12 for that. So we also found these Astro Boy Books. They're like graphic novels. And I paid £5.94, so it was 99p each on a sale shelf. It's not in 100% the right order. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 11. So assuming that I'm just going to put these all together and do it as a bundle, I'm going to try for £25 on those. And we found these 5 how to draw manga books. So if you have a look at those. How to draw manga and similar kinds of subject matter. Now we had a right kerfuffle in the shop with these because I actually picked them up from a 99p sale shelf. But the staff weren't really sure that they should have been on there, so there was lots of checking going on and managers being spoken to and all sorts. And in the end, they were meant to be on there, so I got them for 99p each. So that was £4.95 for the 5, which was a great buy. Prices are all over show on these things, so it's really hard to tell what I'm going to get for them or what I'm going to ask. But on average, assuming that no one of them is worth anything great, I'm going to ask £10 each on them. So that won't be bad. If I can get £10 each, that's £50 for a £5 purchase. So yeah, £4.95, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to try £10 each. So there you have it. That's Alderley Edge, the playground of the rich and famous. And Oldham, it's been described as the most deprived town in the whole of the UK. I apologise to anyone from Oldham. It wasn't my decision to make you the most deprived. Now, what were the differences? Well, you saw the kind of stuff that I picked up. It's clear that in Alderley Edge, I was definitely finding more stuff of bigger value, but it was costing me more to buy it. So it's fairly obvious, really, it was going to cost me more money. But I actually quite enjoyed the shopping in Alderley Edge. I was finding different things that I wouldn't normally find. So Alderley Edge, I spent £100.43 in 5 charity shops. And now when you add up what I'm planning to list them for, it's all going to come to £364. So that means it's a 262% increase on what I paid, which equates to a 72% profit margin. So what about Oldham? Well, in Oldham, I only spent £22.87p. I was absolutely shocked. I was fully thinking that I was going to go to Oldham, I was going to fill my bags with low price items with higher margin, but I really struggled to find stuff to buy. I was literally grasping at straws at one point. I was like, we're not even going to get anything here. I spent £22.87 in Oldham. Now what I've got them all those items listed for comes to £137. So actually, even though it was harder to find stuff, and there wasn't much about, I was getting a bit frustrated with that, but what I did pick up had a bigger profit margin than Alderley Edge. So that represented a 499% increase on what I paid and an 83% profit margin. Now, it's all relative. You've got to understand that it's all relative. I mean, when you go charity shopping, if you go charity shopping, you will know that it depends what day you go. It depends what donations they've had that day. It depends what time you go. Sometimes charity shops put out in the morning. Sometimes they put it out as they're going along. It is really, really hard to say whether a town is good for charity shops or bad, because one day it can be great and the next day it can be crap. If anything, the thing that shocked me most about Alderley Edge was the fact that I didn't really get put off by the prices, because I was checking them out on the app. So if you're fairly certain that you're going to get a decent markup on something, it doesn't matter if it costs you £40 and you're going to get 100. That's a decent markup. I could have to sell 6, 7, 8 items to make that £60. So if I can do it on one item, that's good. All in all, if I had to choose a place to go to in the future, you might think that I would always go Oldham because the profit margin is higher. But it's got to be enjoyable as well, and I want to find a decent number of items. I only spent £22. I think I'm going to be claiming back more in bloody mileage than what I actually spent in the charity shops. So, would I go back to Oldham to source? No. Would I go back to Alderley Edge? Yes. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you later.